Kenya that felt like electricity moving all the way from my crown all the way to the tips of my toes. And the magical thing about it is that I was able to transfer this electricity to 2 other people. So let me tell you what happened. We were at our accommodation at the Masai Mara, and on this particular evening the fire pit was going. I was staring into the sky. I love staring into the sky. There's something very, very, very powerful about the sky for me. It goes back to when I had one of my plant medicine experiences and I had my eyes open and staring into the sky, and I felt the absolute power of soul. When I was staring into the sky, I felt my whole soul just lift me and take me into the sky, and I felt the power and the glory of God. And so I often stare into the sky, I stare into the clouds, and I feel the presence of God wherever I am. And on this particular evening, I was staring into the sky. I was listening to the trees and the wind, and the river was right behind me, and so was the fire. It was really quite magical. I felt the land of Africa speak to me. What she said, and I have talked about this in another video, but I want to talk about what actually happened with the transmission. She said to me, you cannot be half in and half out. If you are half in reality and half out into the illusion, you're actually completely out. So what she meant by reality and the illusion is that if we entertain any type of fear in our life at all, that is the illusion. Because the reality is there is no fear in reality, because where there is God, there is only love, and there is only that pure, magical, powerful presence of God. There's no fear there. And so if you're holding any fear at all about doing anything, then you're actually half out, which means you are completely out. And I felt the vibration of these words go through from my crown, like literally my crown was burning, all the way down to the soles of my feet, and I was vibrating. And so in order to get rid of this energy, because I had so much energy inside me, I knew that I had to move. So the first thing I did was just walk around the grass by myself. Others were talking. The great thing about this place that we were staying at was it was only our group. There was no other people, so you were free to do whatever you wanted to without, thinking that it was inappropriate. So I was just walking around the grass, and then I decided that I really needed to move my body by dancing. And so I put on my playlist of my favorite songs, and I just started dancing around the fire pit. I was wearing a long red skirt, and I felt like a wild woman that was just dancing around the fire pit. It felt really liberating and so much freedom, and I could still feel the electricity course through my body. And one of the ladies there, she was going to go to sleep, but she decided that she would join me. There was something magnetic, she said to me later, that was pulling her towards me. She could feel something and her body came towards me. And we danced together. Our foreheads connected, and I said to her, I've got something to tell you. You can no longer play half in and half out. You need to be completely in. Are you prepared to go completely in? And as I'm saying these words, I had already decided them for myself. I had already decided the answer for myself. And she said, yes, I'm in. And she started crying, and she felt the power of the words of what it means to be completely in. We had the most magical experience together, dancing around the fire. Later on, she told me that they were exactly the words that she needed to hear at that time, exactly the words. And then another lady joined me dancing. I held her and she held me, and our foreheads touched, and electricity went from my forehead to hers. I felt called to say something different to her that Africa had told me, which is, there is nothing you have to do. There's nothing you have to do. She took those words, and I also told her the other words that I had told the other lady as well, that there's no half in and there's no half out. She was crying. She said, thank you, thank you, thank you. And she says, I love you so much. And I said to her, I love you so much. And we don't realize how much love we do have for people. But when we're feeling the electricity of the purity of God inside us, we can transmit that to others. We can share it with others. But there's this unnatural distance between us and other humans because of all the programming of what's appropriate and what's inappropriate. And so we don't allow ourselves to get that close. And she said to me, I love you so much. And I felt it, and I said to her, I love you so much, and she felt it. And there was two people who 2 weeks earlier didn't know each other, just sharing this beautiful, magical moment where there was just pure love transmitted from my body to hers, simply by connecting our foreheads, and for me sharing the truths that I had learned from the land to her, not keeping it to myself, because that's what we're supposed to do, is share it. And it was magical and beautiful, and just helped me remember that that's our natural state. Our natural state is to be that close, is to be that loving, is to be that caring, is to be that sharing, is not to worry about what feels inappropriate or all the programming that we have received that just has put a wedge and a block between ourselves and other people. That there doesn't need to be this wedge between us and others, that we can be this close, that we can be this loving, that we can be this caring, that we don't have to put the blocks in the middle, that we don't have to put the obstructions in the middle, that we can open up and allow ourselves to give. And both those women were open to receiving. And so we have to receive and we have to give. And when we open ourselves up to receiving from the land, from the sky, from the earth, from our spirit team, from our family, from our friends, from strangers, then we can just give that back, because everything is a mirror. Everything is a mirror. We are a mirror to it all. Everything is a mirror, as above, so below. If this video resonated with you, these are the transmissions that I need to share with the world. I would really appreciate if you give me your thoughts, subscribe, like, do whatever you can to get the energy of these messages moving, going where they're supposed to be going. Sending you so much love, and just remember this one thing, because nothing else matters. Live in truth. Nothing else matters. Live in truth. Not what you were told the truth is, but what you feel the truth is. Sending you so much love.